Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Critical Misses channel. We have a very special game tonight, so let's not waste any time and let's get right into the meat of things. But before we get directly into things, Critical Misses is partnering with Chromatic Chimera in efforts to donate to the Transgender Law Center. And those donations you can do through Tiltify. You can use those Tiltify donations to buy Banes and Boons. So, Banes and Boons are normally limited to a certain amounts, depending on how many channel points you have. But if you tip through the Tiltify link, then you will be able to surpass those limits and benefit people in this world and in the real world. So that's pretty cool. Last time, our coterie had quite the journey through various realms of purgatory, for lack of a better term. They were brought face to face with the concept of their greatest sins, and some of our coterie, by the end of things, were absolved of those things, and some chose to bear the weight of their sins rather than cleanse them. After receiving a number of artifacts from various gods across both the Grecian and Egyptian pantheon that seem to hold the fragments of their divinity within, these artifacts of great power have helped push along and inspire the coterie, as well as some sort of magical boon that was given to their physical forms. As they stepped through the final portal to meet their quarry. Victoria, you are walking along the dark red carpeted interior of the sort of derelict Michigan theater. And Jackson looks over to you and says, "Now, despite these being former coterie mates, they're nothing for you to get attached to. Just contacts now. There are no friends, which I'm sure you're perfectly ready for." There they are now. And Victoria, you see for the first time this very tall woman who's pale, these odd technicolor eyes. She looks like she's dressed from a Venetian black and white picture film in all white. And she extends a hand out and goes, "Jackson, darling." And Jackson leans down and kisses it and says, "Victoria, this is a member of my former coterie. Her name is, well, most people call her the director. Nowadays, I believe." And you see the woman laughs a bit and says, "Yes, but you may refer to me as Ophelia Justine. A pleasure. Oh, and this is my child." And she steps to the side and reveals
Oh no, we lost a D? Did we lose a D?
Oh no.
What does she reveal?
Does that mean that we beat Hypnos?
I think so.
I think by default, yeah.
Okay.
GG.
Ice cream?
Yeah.
Move it again.
Ice cream, right?
You're back.
Am I back, Bill?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a little bit choppy.
Great. I can hear you all, but I can't see, so fantastic. That's great. That's what I wanted to happen. Anyway, so essentially you see Genevieve standing there. And Jackson will turn to you and say, "Well, I'll let you get acquainted, introduce yourselves. You never know what kind of contacts you might need in our line of work. Besides, I have things to speak to Ophelia about. So if you ladies would excuse us." And Jackson takes Ophelia's arm and walks off. Genevieve, this is your first time meeting this Victoria Beaster. Though you have seen Jackson King before, this is apparently his chosen child. And she seems to, from a physical standpoint, if nothing more, her demeanor and such, it very...
Oh no. We're having some
Um,
technical
Not
difficulties.
tonight.
D's internet's being a little bit persnickety.
Kirsty's terrible internet.
Even D's internet doesn't want this to end. That's what that means.
Maybe what happened is D doesn't know what to. Oh,
Huh?
Can you guys
hey,
hear me
never mind.
now?
Yes.
Yay!
Great. What here? You know what? Hold
Hypnos is fighting Dee's Wi-Fi, putting it to sleep.
There you go.
The last thing that was heard was Genevieve saw Victoria for the first time.
I think so.
Figured out she was standoffish and cold-hearted.
We
Which is
might.
accurate.
What? Her?
Do we want to just cut to a break super quick and then see if we can see if a reset maybe solves Dee's internet problems?
Sounds like a
Happy
good
for the
idea.
best.
Okay, everybody. We will be back in about a couple minutes just to sort of figure out what is going on with Dee's internet. 1 sec.
Think that, audience.
We're back.
All right. Hopefully that won't happen again. Sorry about that, folks. I live in the corn state, or one of many. So essentially, Genevieve, this is your first time meeting Victoria, and you two are sort of left there as your sires walk out.
Haven't really seen you around that often. Are we really going to do the dramatics? That, oh, I'm so broody, I don't need to speak to anyone. That's really what you're going to do?
I'm waiting to see if you will be useful to me. It is that simple.
Oh, darling, I'm an actress. I'm not very useful to much of anybody.
It's good to know one's place in life, at least.
However, I do engage in pleasant conversation every once in a while.
That makes one of us.
We'll get you to open up eventually, especially if the script calls for it.
And with that, there's a small, dull white glow. And Minerva, you are. Zoom, please. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Good. Minerva, you are in the process of moving into your college dorm. You've got most of the stuff up and out of your car, thanks to help from your next door neighbor, a guy named Charlie. Seems kind of like a tool a little bit, but it's all right. And as you're coming upstairs with the final box, you see this calico cat sort of run up to you and interlace itself between your legs and around you. And you see this old woman sort of step out, and she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. He gets away from me sometimes." And she scoops up the cat and says, "So you're going to be living here, huh?"
Yeah, I just finishing moving in, yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
What's your cat's name?
Oh, this little thing, I call her Lily. She's
Lily?
adorable. Yes. And you see that she sort of shuffles her way back to her apartment. She says, "If you ever need anything, just come and see me. I know you young people, you're all through the building, so if you ever need a moment of quiet, my apartment is somewhere you could come and stay."
Thank you very much, Mrs.
You can call me Ayana.
Ayana. Nice to meet you. I'm Minerva.
Yes, a pleasure, pleasure. And you see she sort of just shuffles back and is like, "Come on, Lily, let's go get some dinner started." And you sort of heft the box into the small area that is your apartment. You think about the prospect of finally being in college and how much there is to learn and how many different people that you can learn from. And with that, there is a dull flash of white. And Fiorentino, you are making your way through one of the crowded nightclubs in your area. And you spot this very gruff-looking, annoyed person sort of sitting at the bar, and you see she requests another drink. As you sort of make your way over, you're feeling yourself. You got the Aster going. This person is supposedly someone by the name of Mal.
Hello. Who are you?
Not interested. Thanks though.
No, I've seen you here. I recognize you from somewhere, right?
Yes, I am usually. I generally don't come around places like this at night. I'm not really a club person, but someone has to fund these places, so I make sure all the rich people are happy with themselves.
Generally, yes. What makes tonight different?
Well, thanks to the urging of my mother, who is my only friend, which is sad enough to say, I decided to go out on a dating app, and I got stood up. So now I'm just here drinking for two.
Someone as beautiful as you.
Is that your normal pickup line? Is that what you usually go with? It doesn't seem super effective.
Usually they just, look at me and that's enough. But
Oh, is it?
often, yes. Yes. It does help that I do kind of sort of own this place, so you can drink for free.
And you see that another drink she ordered appears to be like a Jack and Coke. She just looks at you and goes, "All right, fine, but you're drinking the cheap stuff that I can afford." And she hands you the Jack and Coke and gestures for you to sit down.
Very well. I have one condition, though. I want to know about you.
Fine. My name's Mel. And she extends a hand.
Fiorentino de Calza.
Oh boy. And with that, there's another dull white glow of light. And Ray, you are trying to scrub all of the flour off of your hands from helping your moms in the bakery, as you finally manage to actually land a job as a therapist on a college campus grounds. But you have to stay with your parents for a bit while the apartment that you're waiting on gets ready, or finishes getting ready, at least. And you see, as you're in the bathroom, Lynn sort of walks up behind you and says, so you put in a day's work at the bakery, love. How'd it go? How many times did you burn yourself? She starts like looking up your arms and hands.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Only five times.
Not bad, all things considered.
Yeah, I did burn about half the croissants. Yeah, but well, I'll try again tomorrow.
Well, you may not have my natural talent, but you definitely have your mother's stubbornness. And she will kiss you on the cheek and say, "It's good to have you back, Ray." And she makes her way out of the bathroom and down the stairs. And you are left in what was once your childhood home with a whole new prospect on what you'll be doing with your life. Hopefully helping people, students in particular, get through both college and whatever other life stressors that they have. And there is another dull thrum of light, and you all stand in this nebulous area of swirling yellow and black, and it pans from each of you down, and you all look, feel, and even stand different from those people in that time. And hovering above you, all of you staring up to see, is the God King of reality, as Hypnos floats above you with the scepter of Cain in hand. And he says, "Well, shall we put an end to this, friends? Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone who finds themselves inside and out of the gender spectrum, my name is Dee, and welcome to episode 17, the series finale of Under a Pale Cold Sun, Artreus." With me, I have a whole cast of wonderful kindred with me, and we're going to start, as we always do, on my right with our resident Toreador.
Hello, lovely people. My name is Rowan. My pronouns are they, she, and tonight, for the last time, I will be playing Fiorentino de Calza, whose pronouns are they, them, our resident Toreador. I'm very excited.
Fantastic. And right below Rowan, as always, we have the ever gorgeous Alicia.
Hey there, I'm Alicia, or Petty Energy, or Energy 98, depending on the platform, and I'll be playing Victoria Beestill, our resident dominator of the world, as it so happens.
Mm-hmm. And then next to her, on her left, we have the effervescent Bo.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bo. You can find me on Twitter at DorkyTeacher. And I will be playing Ray Renell. Don't want it to be the last time.
We haven't gotten to the part you guys are supposed to cry out yet.
It's too late.
We're gonna.
You think I haven't cried yet today?
Crying.
Underestimate me.
And
the crying is.
Next up on the left-hand side of Bo is one half of a very chaotic tornado. Darby, how are you?
Just silently crying inside over this, and my brain is boiling over things I could write into reality. But hello, my name's Darby, and today I'll be playing Minerva Noctua, your resident nerdy and now completely human, maybe, person.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Fun fact, Noctua is a placeholder name, and Darby's going to get back to me with the last name in a couple of days. And last but never least, we have our fearless leader.
That's me.
The critical they themselves.
Hi. I'm Anita. My pronouns are she, they, and I play Genevieve, whose pronouns are also she, they. And, I'm gonna be sad that this is ending, but on to bigger and better and newer things. And
will not be sad that it is ending because we
Your
still
emotions
have
sicken
an
me.
ending to write. You are the biggest, squishiest marshmallow I've ever met in my life, woman. You
How
be
dare
quiet
you.
down there. Never.
How dare you?
I will expose you,
the
ma'am.
person that threatened me with
How
sushi before we
dare.
went live on stream.
Okay, you know what?
So,
Be here.
and then, hi, I am D. I am the master of ceremonies for this wonderful campaign, and I play everyone who wasn't just named. So, yeah, you all are thrown into this odd, slightly swirling vortex of just dark yellows and blacks. And as you step through, a very odd thing happens. As Hypnos is explaining his plan, he starts from the very beginning, as in back in ancient Grecian times, and with ancient Egyptian monikers in mind. It's a little odd. He's explaining things in like a very weird amount of detail. It's off-putting. And all while this is happening, you see that Minerva is furiously writing into this book. And anyone with a keen eye can look over her shoulder and see that the first thing she has written onto a piece of paper is that Hypnos will monologue as long as I need to write everything down. As Hypnos continues to just speak this speech that is going into just such a weird amount, like he's the taste of someone he ate on a random Tuesday. Like, it's really bizarre. As Minerva finishes one sheet, tears it off, it burns. She begins immediately writing another sheet, tears it off, it burns. And when she does the second sheet, you see a small pouch of various materials sort of clumps to the odd ground surface of this. And Minerva quickly scoops it up and continues writing, and burns the third piece. And then seemingly like right before Hypnos wraps up the story, Minerva quickly writes down one more truth and burns the paper. And Hypnos will say, "And that is what led me to you here today. So, surely you realize that this farce can't go on for much longer." Yes, that's
Ah, I was muted
you
for that
talk
part.
for a while. Um, Either way, it is time for us to do some fucking combat, y'all.
Ah!
Yeah, and
Combat.
you know, we've definitely only done this once in this campaign, so here goes the second time for combat. Yeah. So, let me see here. So I need everybody to roll me dexterity and awareness.
Raleigh
For the
B Music,
subs.
thank you so much for those 5 gift subs.
Oh my goodness.
That is incredible. The money from those gift subs is going to go to the Trans Law Center because all money for
Yeah.
bits, subs, and any donations through the Stiltify link are all going to go to the Transgender Law Center.
Absolutely.
And sorry, real quick, what were we rolling again? Dexterity and what?
Dexterity and awareness.
Okay.
Dexterity and awareness.
So I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, how much hunger do I have to add to my dice? But then I remembered I don't have hunger anymore.
You don't.
I usually keep like one of the hunger dice just sitting in my dice tray, but at the beginning of the episode when I was getting prepped, I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to do that.
So
Is it really
messy
nerds?
crits still exist if
Yeah.
we have no hunger dice? Okay. So
I got
I
a
rolled.
goose egg.
Okay. Okay.
I got
If you
one.
could drop as we're going, drop your initiatives in the Zoom chat for me.
For sure, for sure.
It would be beautiful. And then Minerva 033. Okay, so Hypnos is going to make the first move.
Damn it.
Can we just know what he rolled?
He got 7 successes.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
He rolled some 10s in there as well. So the first thing
This.
The first thing that he's going to do is he's going to extend the Staff of Cain out toward all of you. And, well, not all of you. He's going to extend it out to Minerva in particular. And he is going to try and open the void.
What?
Minerva, go ahead and roll me a willpower plus resolve check.
Okay. Willpower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need more d10s. Oh, I have perfect. I have my lapis lazuli dice, which I will roll first because they are precious and gentle. Yikes. Okay. 1, 2.
I can tell I've done too much chilling at a certain point because as soon as you said, I'm just like, is there a particular company that those dice are from? Like I'm sponsored or something.
If anybody wants to sponsor the last episode of the show, just let us know.
Drop
Just
it out.
real quick, we can just
Get,
slip
get some
that.
checks on the way out, you know?
Okay, slide in the DMs, as they say.
As they say.
That is 8 successes.
Okay. So as this beam of dark yellowish energy strikes you in the chest, you feel your form trying to unravel itself. But you manage to concentrate on who you are and what you came here to do, and you stand your ground. Which means that first up is Minerva and Ray.
I'd like to cast that spell I messaged you about, D.
Okay. So you all see as unnaturally fast, Minerva opens this bag and begins to remove component after component after component. And she is in a blur. She is putting a ritual together that would probably take much, much longer than it's taking her in this moment. And what ritual are you casting?
I would love to cast the Shaft of Belated Dissolution.
Go ahead and read that ritual for everybody at home.
This
I love that there are spells we haven't seen yet.
I saved up all of my experience to blast it on this spell. Is a 5th level spell. That the description reads: the kindred fear few weapons as they fear the dreaded stake created by this ritual, thought to be the origin of the myth regarding stakes as the ultimate tool for slaying vampires. The shaft of belated dissolution not only seeks out the heart of the vampire it's aimed at, but actually causes final death when reaching its target. If need be, the shaft works its way towards this goal as a splinter, inching its way through the target vampire's body to reach its goal.
All right, so you create this gently floating, almost heat-seeking culmination of blood and wood and splinters that seem to coalesce from out of nowhere. And I believe the stake acts of its own accord, or do you thrust? Or is it a weapon?
I don't need to throw it, but it confers a 3 dice bonus to any pool in an attempt to stake a vampire, whether hammered in while the victim sleeps, or melee, or 5 from a crossbow. So someone needs to wield it.
Gotcha.
And so Minerva will pass it to Victoria.
So you see as Hypnos sneers at you and says, "Oh, the bookish one with a stake. Should I be afraid?" And then as the ritual completes, the stake drifts over to the hands of Victoria. And you see Hypnos just sneering. No matter. And yeah, you are able to do that ritual. Well done. Next up, we have Ray.
I'm going to press down the stop button on my recorder. Not recorder. Okay. It's a different thing.
Everything
just play a little
freezes in place.
And where is Hypnos?
Hypnos is about 100 feet diagonally from you all.
Okay. I would like, I don't know if that's possible within a turn, but I would like to go up and try to take his staff. I would like to grasp his staff.
Okay. So to get over to him, I'm going to need you to roll me dexterity plus, let's say it's actually athletics plus stamina.
Are you sure it can't be dexterity?
It can be dexterity plus stamina, sure. I'll just buff up the DC a little bit.
Okay. But I feel like that's worth it, because I have 2 more. I have 2 in dexterity and none in athletics. So. 1, 2 crits, and a success. So that's 5 successes.
Okay. So with 5 successes, you are able to get your way over to, I'm gonna have to do this. With 5 successes, you are able to make your way over to where Hypnos is in the air, sort of willing yourself in that direction as you go. And you get there, go ahead and roll me, let's say dexterity plus brawl as you try and wrench this staff out of his hands.
It's going to be a whole 2. Do I get any kind of bonuses because time is stopped?
Sure. I would say add 2 dice to your pool.
Nice. You don't ask, you don't get.
True.
That is a crit, and that is a 9. So that's 3 successes.
Okay. So with those 3 successes, you reach out, and as you grab the staff, there is a moment where your fingers begin to blacken and wither almost, and you immediately let go of the staff reflexively, and your 2 fingers, your pointer and your middle finger, is numb, to say the least. So that is Ray's turn. And at the end of Ray's turn, the button unclicks itself. And Fee, what you got?
I would like to open up the book I was gifted and read a poem from it.
Go ahead.
The moon was gone today. It left an empty hole in the sky, devoid of my bright friend and the others that passed by. So I let him in, just to feel something, even if it was his icy hand holding on to my bleeding heart.
Okay. And what is the intent behind the fragment that you read?
You didn't tell me I had to come up with that part. Okay.
Using the words
Murder's
of that
intent.
poem, what is the effect of this spell?
You're right.
Essentially.
Murder is an intent. I suppose the intent in this is to I want to try and expose Hypnos' heart.
Okay. So you all watch as
Yes,
Fee
sir.
begins to read these words. They begin to lift gently off the ground, blue light trailing from the eyes. As they say this incantation, Fee, go ahead and roll me charisma plus resolve.
Okay.
Excuse me, charisma plus willpower. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Let's,
With that nice big old boost, we just got the willpower.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dice.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 successes.
Okay. With 11 successes, y'all watch as this ethereal, ghostly hand apparates from nowhere with frost drifting off of it. And you see it reaches and one finger peers into the chest of Hypnos, who is trying to wrench it free. And you see ice collecting at the hands. And in the gap of the transparent hand, this sort of ethereal, ghostly hand, you do see an exposed, unbeating, dark purple heart. And another. And another.
Fucking alright.
And as that happens, that is your turn. We have up next Victoria or Genevieve. Which one do you like to go first?
I'll let Victoria go first.
Well, it's going to be very simple. Rapid reflexes, and we're going to try and stab Hypnos.
Okay, go ahead and roll me, first of all, to get over 2 Hypnos, roll me athletics plus stamina, or dexterity, your choice.
Dexterity. Same, doesn't matter. That's only 2 successes.
Okay, so with 2 successes, you with this, when this stake drops into your hands, you have a reaction that normally Kindred have to fire. There is something about this stake that this is the death of your kind. And part of that sort of, it unnerves you, and you run, you get about, if he's 100 feet away, I'd say you get about 75 feet over to him, but not far. Your attention is split just enough to keep you from getting up to him. Now, from the context of this spell, I would say that the stake, you do know that the stake has a sort of heat-seeking nature to it, so you could throw it, but that would make the check be dexterity-based, not strength-based, if you were throwing it at him instead of stabbing him with it.
Those are the same for me, so it would not matter.
Okay, so you want to check it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Go ahead and roll me dexterity plus athletics.
Okay. Mama needs to kill a god. That's 3 successes.
Okay, so
Probably not
with
enough.
3 successes, he has to roll to defend.
You also get a 3 dice bonus to any pool and attempt to stake a vampire.
That is correct. So
Oh,
then
well,
throw
hold
3
on.
additional.
Let me roll a few more.
Get fucked.
Is that to Hypnos or to Victoria?
Who knows?
Well,
3 more successes.
6.
Okay, with 6 successes, that's a little bit better than his 1 success.
Oh,
So you
I
watch.
got fucked.
You watch as Victoria glides through the air. Almost, there's a slight lackadaisicalness to it, almost as though they have just really forgotten in this moment where they were drifting towards. Weave the Tail, thank you for coming into that raid. Welcome to the finale of Under the Pale Cold Sun. You joined at a great time for combat.
I
And
just
you
threw
watch.
blood at a guy.
You watch as, with the skill of an Olympic, oh God, what's it called? What's it called?
Shot putter?
Shot put. There you go. With the skill of an Olympic shot putter, Victoria just wheels around in the air and fucking chucks this stake. And as it goes, even though it's a little bit off the margin, you all watch as the stake corrects itself, aiming for Hypnos' heart. It pierces through it and immediately turns to ash as it goes through, and Hypnos cries out, "Ah! Ingrates!" And you see that the eyes have shifted from this sort of soft yellow and black to this angry red. And yeah, you've destroyed one of Hypnos' hearts.
Looks like
up.
you haven't gotten enough rest.
Next up, we have Genevieve. And Genevieve, at the beginning of your turn, you hear this voice that sort of drifts to you. It's almost like a whisper. And you hear, "Genevieve, you can do this." What would you like to do?
Oh God. Okay. Raw. I have a gun. I don't have much else. I can't really fight, but I have a gun. I also have the Winds of Ra and the Blessing of the Watcher.
You do.
I can see through time. I don't know exactly what that does mechanically.
Well, you can see into the future. It's essentially an extension of the vision powers granted you through your particular Malkavian aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I will say, for the purposes of like dice and stuff, you can see what Hypnos is going to do next. You can see how effective something will be if you try that. You can see through time.
Okay. So Hypnos has how many hearts was that exactly?
3.
3?
2 now.
2 now? I'm going to take the handgun that has silver bullets loaded into it, and I'm going to try and shoot one of the hearts and see how successful that's going to be.
Okay. Go ahead.
Time with
Go ahead.
in the time that I spent in across the pond, I picked up some firearms lessons. That's what I did with
Nice.
my extra points, everybody.
Gotcha. So go ahead and roll me dexterity plus firearms.
Okay, sounds good. So 1, 2. And that's 5. Holy shit, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Okay. With 5 successes, let me see. He rolled to defend.
It was a 10, a 9, a 7, a 6, and then a 2 on my hunger die.
Nope. He is going to take that shot into the heart. You see it spurt out this large gout of blood. It doesn't seem like he has the mythic bane of an allergy to silver, as the heart does not turn to dust, but he takes quite a few points he takes the difference in your successes and his successes as aggravated damage to that heart. Okay, so let me fix that. Fantastic. And then at the bottom of the round, Minerva, you hear a voice speak to you that says, Minerva, stay focused. You can do this. Genevieve, as you heard that voice the first time, you watch as you fired and the bullet hit into the heart. There's still a little bit of what looks like starlight radiating from the bullet that's embedded in the heart. And it appears to be burning Hypnos. Top of the initiative order. It is between... no, bad guy goes first. Sorry.
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah. Yeah, Baddie's gonna go first. He is going to... I'm not muted on the captions. I had to drop out of the Google Meets for a second. That's the only reason that my Zoom has been stable. I'm gonna try and rejoin in a second. There's supposed to be a few more people out of the house, so when the internet is a bit more open, I'm going to jump back into the captions. But with that, Hypnos on his turn is going to take his staff, and he is going to do a sleeping burst. 4, 5, 10, dropped one, for fuck's sake. I need everyone who ran up close enough to Hypnos to hit him to make me a willpower save. So that would be Ray. Victoria is close enough for this. Genevieve did not move. I don't think that Minerva moved either. Fee, did you get closer when you read your poem, or did you stay by where you guys came in from?
I felt no need to approach the kindred god.
Sounds good. So Ray and Victoria, go ahead and make me some willpower saves.
That would be 7.
Okay.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7 as well.
Okay.
Hey.
A 7 does not pass the threshold. And you guys watch as Ray and Victoria just hit the ground. You both are sleeping. You're not dead yet. And he sort of, as Ray's grasp is released and Victoria is sort of down on the ground as well, Hypnos sort of straightens his robes and says, insolent children, don't know when to lay down and accept what's best for you. And that is Hypnos' turn. Ray is unconscious, so Minerva.
I mean, how far is Ray from me?
Ray is 100 feet if you didn't move, yeah.
How far back did the rewind thing work?
When you used it, it was 3 to 5 seconds.
Would I be able to get to the tape recorder in less than 3 to 5 seconds?
You would have to make one hell of a dexterity stamina check. Because it would just be a full tilt sprint of you running there and trying to get to it.
Oof. In that case, perhaps I will write something in my book.
Okay, what you want to write in your book?
Osiris will come to make sure his wife does not die with my body.
Okay. So you write that on the piece of paper, burn it up, and the ashes are released into the threads of the universe. I would say that unless you want to move somewhere, that's pretty much all you can do with one turn.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okie doke. So with that, then we move on down to Fee.
Right. I did forget to mention last time the poem I read was To Feel by Sylvia Bonios. Once again, Fee would like to crack open this book and read from it.
Okay. Would you like to pick out the piece, or would you like me to?
Oh, I have one ready.
All right. Which one?
This is All the Things That Make Me Miss You by Thomas Stockley. They say that when you're on a ladder, you should maintain 3 points of contact to be truly safe. But with you, I find so many more than that spread across the day. I find you in any mention of Iceland, and I remember your mother tongue in every song that we once shared. I remember the rest of your mouth. I stare into the light that falls on either side of the day until it belongs to someone else. I present every meal to myself alone and wish you were there to appreciate the plating. I think of you with every new street cat I befriend, and even the ones that walk away still remind me of you. You are here almost physically with every bottle of mid-priced red wine in a plastic glass and anything that could remotely be considered a picnic. I see you in the spectrum of colors that traces the food in our fridge, and I miss you most in the knowledge that Sundays are less fun without you. And I would like to attempt to bring our sleeping friends back to us.
Okay, so you're going to attempt to recall their souls. Go ahead and roll charisma plus willpower for me.
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dice. Can I spend a point of willpower to re-roll dice on this?
Yes, you can. You can roll up to all the failed dice.
Would it be one less because I now have one less willpower?
No, I would not.
Cool.
You're affecting the roll that has already happened, not the next one.
That wasn't super helpful, but still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 successes.
Okay, 10 successes. Okay. You watch as... Let me roll a fucking 20. Where? You watch Ray sit up and is awake. Victoria does not move.
Okay.
Ray, you come back to consciousness. Wasn't a dream, apparently. Turns out, still here. And with that, we move to initiative order. El Zippo, Alicia, or excuse me, your name's not Alicia. Victoria is still unconscious, so it will pass to Genevieve. Okay. So you peer into the future with your sight, which doesn't require a roll or anything. You simply peer past what is now and look to what will come to pass. And you see Hypnos hovered over a sleeping Victoria with a staff ready to stab. Okay. Since you are shooting purposefully to attempt to distract Hypnos, go ahead and roll me firearms plus manipulation. Mm-hmm. Anita, I think you're muted on stream, by the way.
Okay, so I decided to try and distract Hypnos after seeing through the future. So I got a bloody critical on that, and it's a total of 4 successes.
All right. So with 4 successes and a bloody crit, I will say you fire off, and you don't even hit Hypnos, but as he goes to move, you fire and the bullet stops his progress, and he turns to look to you with a face of pure hatred and ire. And he says, "You know, you could have actually been something in the New World." And he will turn to face you with the full weight of his attention.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, it is Hypnosis' turn.
Sure is.
And he is going to point out his staff, and he is going to attempt to unravel you. So make me a resolve plus willpower.
Resolve plus willpower. Ooh. Well, that's a lot of dice. That is a whole lot of dice. Okay.
I mean, a lot of dice is what we need. You know,
True.
fighting a god. Only, we're pretty kitted out ourselves, but still.
That is 8 successes.
8 successes. You are a very lucky woman. You beat him by 1 success. And you feel, as this beam of black and yellow strikes you in your chest, you all watch Genevieve open. Her body turns to ribbons almost in the point of contact. And inside you see this sparkling light visage that you assume is Genevieve's soul. And as she begins to unravel and dematerialize, the head snaps back and the body stitches itself together as you and are able to keep yourself whole. To answer your question, because she would have technically been here, Mercedes would have fallen unconscious the second you all entered Hypnosis' realm. Fun fact.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, she's still just, a ghoul. Like, she...
That's reasonable.
Hypnosis
Bring a ghoul
aura
to a god
of,
fight. Just don't do it.
if you don't have, like, essentially divine protection, Hypnosis' just passive aura is knocking people unconscious by this point.
That's reasonable.
Yes. Also, I want to apologize real quick to stream. It appears that my internet can't handle having the captions and Zoom open at the same time. I am trying to get back into it, but it's not even letting me open Google Meets anymore. It's saying my connection is not strong enough to be considered online. So apologies for that. I'm very sorry. And I will continue trying to fix that as we go along. So, with that having been said, that is Hypnosis' turn. Ray, you just snap back to consciousness.
Okay. The coin requires me to give up something of my own for something of equal value, right?
You have to bet something that is worth what you want from the coin.
Hypnosis staff
For
or memories of one of my mothers. All of them.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
I have a coin.
Oh, then perfect. Go ahead and flip it. What is a win for you? Heads or tails?
I'm so nervous. Heads. I win.
Okay.
Tails. Heads I win, tails you lose.
Okay. Go ahead and flip the coin.
I mean that in the appropriate way.
Yeah, I got you.
Here we go. It's a heads. I win.
All right. So you watch as you feel
I
that
can't really show
tether.
that. There it is.
No, not really. It's fine. You feel that tether to your mother and how that is of vital importance to you. And as you reach out, that tether threatens to break, but it does not as you pass your hand through Hypnosis. And you are now holding the Staff of Cain. I need you to make me a, let's say, composure plus willpower check.
Composure plus willpower.
Yes.
Okay. And there's no bonus. You said Staff of Cain, right? There's no bonuses because, we're related. We're boys.
There is not any bonuses. In fact, your relation to Cain is the only reason that you can hold this staff without dying.
2, 4, 2,
Oh.
4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 die. It's almost all of the die that I have up.
Perfect.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
With 8 successes, as you hold this staff in your hand, you hear a voice curl through and say, "One of my children. Wonderful. Do you plan to take back what you're owed from this pretender?"
I plan to set things right.
Don't we all? It's funny how plans can go awry. And with that, it is Minerva's turn.
How many times can I cast that 5th level spell?
I would say, let's not go too crazy. I would say if you cast it again, that one disappears. There can only be one at a time.
Oh, so it's still, the stake is still in there?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's no longer in Hypnos. It passed through him.
Oh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Ain't it, though?
Can I write them in the book?
Mm-hmm.
But not set it on fire yet.
Okay, what do you want to write?
The stake will always return to Victoria's hands after it is thrown. And after it has hit the heart of the target.
Okay. Gotcha. You write that on a piece of paper and don't burn it yet?
Mm-hmm.
I would say roll composure plus dexterity for me.
Composure plus dexterity.
Yeah.
Do I have? Oh, I have quite a bit of composure.
That makes sense for who Minerva is as a person.
Always composed, never freaking the fuck out. Okay, 2,
For once.
3, 5 successes.
Okay. With 5 successes, you anger. With 5 successes, you that you are able to do that fairly quick. I'd say that you can do something else if you wanted to with your turn, since you're not taking the time to tear the page out and light it on fire. Also.
Whatever someone tries to do to wake up Victoria will succeed.
Okay. So you write that on your piece of paper, and both truths are valid because they're both about Victoria. Okay. Fantastic. So then it is going to be Fee's turn.
A poem I'd like to read.
Go for it.
This is a poem titled Find Me the Sun by Sophia Kunkel. Find me the sun in the dead of winter, as the sky blushes an ashy gray, and my thoughts dampen, splinter, decay. Find me hope in the middle of a pandemic, as the world descends into torrential panic, and my mind fractures. Dense, I am purely volcanic. Find me the sun in the dead of winter, as the leaves curl under glistening, dangerous frost. To me imprisoned in my unceasing worry, is this what 2020 costs?
Okay.
I like to summon a shaft of sunlight directly into Hypnos' face.
Okay. So you watch as you are completing this. You feel warmth crawl across your body, which is not a sensation you're used to at this point, having been a kindred for so long. And you don't summon a shaft of light. you become a shaft of light as you are just completely engulfed in this yellow-white solar beam that stretches across and through Hypnos. He's going to take... go ahead and roll me Charisma plus Willpower. Let's see how much damage he takes. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to spend a point of willpower to re-roll some of these dice.
Gotcha.
Cool. That's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 successes.
Okay, so since he got 2 successes, he's going to take 10 points of aggravated sun damage.
Get fucked!
You watch as the skin and parts of this are just charred immediately and turned to ash, and you see the one heart that had a bullet set in the middle of it withers and crumbles to dust in the sunlight. Dope. On oh goodness, what's your name? I'm so sorry.
Genevieve
Ventru.
Victoria.
Thank you. My brain wanted to call you the 1 million names that I call you outside of this game.
No, it's
And I was just like, no, I was like, none of these are right. They're all wrong. So Victoria, you hear? Oh, come on now. Is that all it takes to keep Victoria Beaster down? As you hear Edwin's voice clear through your ear, and you were going to have to roll on Edwin's faith, but thanks to the truth that was written into existence, it is with that voice that your eyes snap open, and you feel, as soon as they do, you feel the weight of the stake return to your hand. What do you want to do with your turn?
On.
It's bright in the real world.
No. So, fun fact, I have enough mascara on that my vision's still blurred.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna throw this thing. I legit it's like I'm looking
Mittens,
through like Vaseline glass right now. Stakes back in my hand. He's got another heart. We're chucking it again.
All right, go ahead and roll for dexterity plus athletics.
And then plus 3 more because it's the stake of vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's, oh God, now saying this is going to be hard. I have never had this happen with mascara before. That's interesting. That is 4 successes.
4 successes. Let's see here.
Oops, we're slowly getting there. I can kind of see my name.
Go ahead. Sure. If you want to use exclamation point donate in the Critical Misses chat so you can get access to the Tiltify link where you can donate to the Trans Law Center. Happy Pride Month, everybody. We're killing vampires with the power of trans people. I was going to say positivity, but no. It's just trans people. Murder.
Fucking rap month.
Trans people
Exactly.
are positively wonderful. Counterpoint.
True. I would, yeah, you can. So I will say that
enjoy murder.
I'll say that you bane his dice. So Victoria, what did you roll? How many successes?
I was
said-
a total of 4.
4. He takes 4 points of aggravated damage, but that's not how that stake works. The stake doesn't care about HP. It kills its target if it is kindred. So you watch as Victoria chucks this stake, and there is silence as it whistles through the air and sticks into Hypnos. No, I am the God King. No.
You are not fit to rule.
You see pieces of the jaw and the shoulder explode off, and bits of sunlight shine through the cracks in his form as he begins to turn to stone. No! And then he is turned to dust. And you watch as that dust reconforms into a still version of Hypnos. And in front of him stands a form that is both familiar and unfamiliar. This tall person, taller than all of you now, with fur, but only around the wrists, the ankles, and the neck, and two long curved horns that point upward with a small sun that rotates in between the horns. With eyes, skin, and hair made of starlight, you see Artreus
My boy.
holding Hypnos. And he plucks from Hypnos both of his eyes. And then he will insert them into his own sockets, which turn a certain color and then quickly revert to that almost star-like space-type gaze. And he turns to you all and says, "Sorry I'm late. I was busy." And that's where we're going to take our break for the evening.
We
But
won.
Yeah, seriously.
You guys killed Hypnos.
that's a thing we did.
Not with that
did.
tone.
Shut up.
But was
You-
Hypnos the
what?
biggest threat? That is.
Of course.
This is going to be like an alien
priest is
situation.
still
You
out
think it's
there.
over. Nice, calm music.
I mean, I was
And the
thinking the
bam!
person who currently has Kane's staff, but sure, the priest is the problem.
Ray has a staff.
Oh shit, the
Yeah.
priest and the demons. What
I
the?
know.
Okay, anyways, we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break and scream at D.
Yeah. And while we take that break, we're going to get some water, get up, stretch, get some snacks if necessary. We encourage you all to do the same. Don't forget, this stream and all streams of the Critical Misses, all bits, donations, and subs are going to go towards the Trans Law Center. If you want to learn more, you can use !donate in chat. Thank you all for coming out. And we're going to be back with the latter half of this game as soon as we get back. And now I hold the pose. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of our finale that we have going on here. The coterie is standing in the presence of the ash cloud that used to be Hypnos, or Tutu, the god of sleep, before an interesting form that has been held by what appears to be Artreus. With Hypnos' eyes, Artreus will sort of blink a few times and then go, okay, now I can see.
You couldn't before?
I couldn't see far enough, if that makes sense.
No,
I have a lot of
not
things
at all.
I need to see now. And you see that with every sentence, Artreus is just staring off into just the void and is just sort of lost. And you all hear this deep sort of that sort of shakes the voidal space. And Artreus goes, there it is.
What's happening?
Oh, well, you all slew Hypnos, the would-be God King. So reality is a little broken.
May I suggest we leave then?
No, we're not in danger. It's just that Hypnos apparently so deeply believed that he was to rule reality that he's taken a bit of it with him in his death, is all.
Which portions of reality?
Don't think it matters anymore.
Enough that the foundations crumble?
Yes, certainly. But Artreus extends his hands, and the void begins to manifest Detroit. And there is a dark, black and red cavern that cuts through at an odd angle, eating bits of the sky and buildings and the street. And Artreus motions a hand over it, and it all just disapparates. And he says, we have to start from the beginning anyway.
What do you mean, the beginning?
He turns to you all and says, right, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hypnos was a god. And what really is a god if not a being made impervious by those who believe in him? I think I read that in a book one time. Right. And he drifts over to the five of you and says, you all will need this, my belief. And each of you feel this tiny sparkle in your chest that grows, and it feels like open champagne in your chest, essentially, as you're lifted a bit, and your scars and wounds from the battle are stitched, closed, and wiped clean. And in that moment, Genevieve, your shadow begins to crack and fracture and break and disappear. And Artreus snaps his head to you and says, I I guess that's what was owed.
What just happened?
Oh, you all are gods now.
I'm sorry.
What?
What?
You're all gods, beings of creation, like me.
Like, live forever and never gonna die sort of gods? Like,
Yes.
I don't want that.
I just became human again.
And Artreus sort of tilts his head. Doesn't really seem to understand. And he says, you could be human again, but we'd have to make humans exist again first. And you see the void begins to crackle and break and jitter and stretch until below you, you see 5 of the 7 realms of purgatory that you all traveled through. But they are each changed in a way. Minerva, you see the library that you once remember, and now it looks like essentially a large public library, one that you are familiar with, comfortable with. It feels like home to you. And it says on the sign, it says the Minerva Institute of Research and Development. Genevieve, you look down and you see the stage from earlier with a vacant director's chair that says Genevieve. Victoria, you see a sprawling, giant mansion that sits atop the hill of your realm and is elevated slightly above so that you can peer down into the other realms and see what exactly is going on in between them. In stark contrast, Ray, your realm appears to be confined to a small bakery with endless doors that open to wherever you need them to. And Fee, you see perhaps not what you expected, but rather than a sprawling nightclub, you see the gentle interior of a very aesthetically pleasing bookstore that people are just rambling through. There's a small stage. And you see Artreus turns and says, apologies, I could only bequeath those who were willing to be guided by your principles. Minerva with 13 worshippers, Ray with 12, Victoria with 16, Fee with 20, which is both surprising and not.
Seems about right.
And Genevieve, I thought you and I could go on our walk.
I'd very much like that.
It will have to be another time.
We'll have to make a beach first, I suppose.
Oh, and he reaches up between the horns and grabs at this dark spinning orb of energy and just unfurls his hand. And as it rolls forward through the void, you see energy begin to stick to it like a katamari before it ignites into the blazing inferno of a sun. And it has been a long time since the 5 of you have been in the wake of sunlight. And you instinctively shirk away from the light, expecting it to burn, but it only warms. And Artreus turns and says, I'm sorry that this is happening so quickly. And you are all gods, but I think that I am above that, if that makes sense. I represent and I am born of the belief of millions and millions of Guru and kindred and humans. Their belief in the prophecy gave birth to what I am now. And he turns and extends his hand, and in the center of the five realms, you see not a globe shaped earth, but rather a stacking of three spheres that are conjoined by an invisible axis that skewers through all three of them. And he says, the material plane, primordial plane, and the oblivion plane. These will be the realms of our creation. And when your work is done, if you wish to return your fragment of divinity to me, then I will understand. But I will let you know that your realms are places where anything you will is possible. If you would like to live the life that you had, you simply need to be that. Now, let's go find where Charlie has gone to. And he just drifts away.
Is Mercedes here?
She is.
Gonna go wake her up.
You rouse her, and she looks at you.
Hi.
You see tears begin to collect.
What's wrong?
Fee.
Yes.
And she just grabs you and tries to get up. She looks around and what happened? I don't understand what happened.
We won. What's wrong? Why are you crying?
I was dead. Fee. Millions, billions of souls locked out of heaven or hell or whatever. Just a chorus of screams. And then when she starts looking around, Artreus, where?
He went to find Charlie.
And she just falls deep into thought. She appears to be having a hard time processing what has just happened. She will just hold your hand and stay close to you as she thinks.
Hold her close.
The souls still lost.
No, he. I don't know what he did, but he saved us or spared us or I don't know. I just know after he appeared, it stopped. The screaming, it stopped.
Does our world still exist? Like where we came from?
No.
It's just that thing is just gone. Okay.
Hypnos took enough of reality with him to make it unravel.
Is Isis still here?
Funny thing about that. As you go to check for the presence of Isis, you see that she is standing away from you. And you see that she looks at you and looks terrified.
Hmm. What? I'm still me. Ish.
And as soon as you say that, looking at her, you see she blinks and then bows and says, "Of course, as you wish, my lady."
You don't need to do that. Let's, why don't we... I feel like you probably want your own body. You don't need to occupy mine, right?
I would be blessed to receive a gift.
What the fuck?
Hey, since we're all gods, can we all see Isis at this point, or is it
Yes.
still just...
You can.
Oh, okay.
This is okay. Can I try just with my mind, just form a body that looks like Isis appears to me and just make that a thing?
So the way that Hypnos explained it, very
Artreus.
grandiose, or yes, Artreus, sorry. The way that Artreus explained it, very grandiose, reality creating laws have to be made within your realms because that is where you are all individually the most powerful. But creating just an empty body waiting for a soul, it just apparates into life.
I think Osiris is coming. He should be coming.
And she looks at you and says, "You grace me with your presence." And there is a bit of a mournful look, and she says, "I think you misunderstand what has just happened here. I am here because I was with you. My king no longer exists, my lady."
All right. That's Do I still have the book?
Yep. You all still have your artifacts.
Do I still have the Staff of Cain?
Yep.
Is King still in there? Or wherever he is.
Here's the thing. We can make reality whatever we want it to be. And I can see how that reality will turn out. So, with a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, we can not just make everything, we can make everything right.
Oh,
But eventually we're going to have to give up control.
That's fine. I don't want this forever. This is a lot. At some point when the work is done, would just like to just go read and study for a little bit longer.
Well, there's apparently a director's chair down there, so I can make sure that the script keeps going, pick up where my dearest left off.
What do you mean when you say make it right?
However you want life to be. No capitalism.
No capitalism.
No capitalism. For starters.
I mean,
Genevieve,
I've benefited quite a bit from capitalism, but I see where you're coming from, yes.
you can try your best, but there's never really right or wrong. There's only people.
The problem is that
People
you are
doing
correct. We are people that are bound by our own internal biases and morals. So anything that we do build will ultimately carry those implicit biases with them, which is a little bit complicated.
Why
That's a
not?
very long way to say we can never make it right, but we can try our best.
Correct.
We can let it.
Speaking of that, because again, I can see Isis. Got to turn to Isis. Isis.
Oh no!
if you ever interfere when I decide it is someone's time again, I will make sure your existence is painful. They want to give up their powers eventually. I will not. Are we
And
clear?
you see that Isis immediately has started drifting over to the body and inspecting it. And when she hears her name called, turns around like she is a 5-year-old child. And you watch her shrink and cower under Victoria. And she just says, "Yes, my lady. I apologize, my lady."
Go to your body.
You see she drifts into the form, which begins to twitch, and there's a deep gasp of breath. And she looks to Minerva and says, "For as long as you will have me, my lady, I will serve as your counsel and guide on anything that you may need my information for."
That would be great. As for remaking the world,
I don't want a perfect world.
I mean,
I feel
we
like-
could just remake the technically imperfect world we already knew.
with some caveats.
A few things.
I've always had this
Couple
idea
things.
of someone dying a little too soon, just sort of jettisoning them into the world where they live out their life the way they want to before they actually die. They get to experience all of that, and then they finally pass. And maybe instead of going to heaven or hell, we can just listen to a story from them and then let them pass into the ether or something. I don't know. I just have ideas.
That sounds lovely. Weirdly enough.
Plus, I don't want a perfect world. Part of what made our world good and what I have been missing these last 20 years or so was the fact that my actions, my choices, they mattered and had consequences, and
I wasn't talking about
want-
rebuilding the wheel here.
I don't want everything to be solved already. That being said, if we can get rid of hangovers, I would very much appreciate
I
that.
haven't been hungover.
Actions have
Yes.
consequences. We just talked about this.
Yes,
That's
but
Live with them.
yes, but like not all of them have to.
To make them a little less painful.
You could stay a god and not have to worry about it.
That seems like a lot of
Then live with your hangovers.
It seems like a lot of responsibility. And I'll sort of like glance over at Mercedes and glance back and say, and besides, forever is. I never wanted forever.
Well, looks like we're gonna have to get busy. Wait. We are going to work very hard. That is what I meant to say
Correct.
all the
We
time.
are
Hey,
literally
that
one of the
phrase
few
doesn't need
beings in
to.
existence, and you still worry about these things.
Hey, the
My
phrase doesn't
goodness.
exist anymore because humanity doesn't exist anymore. We are all that's left.
So we would
Okay,
start with the
we're going
primordial
to start
soup and
building.
work our way up. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Fine.
Big bang, let's go. What pow?
But before you all set off to do whatever it is you plan to do, Artreus apparates in front of you again, and Artreus holds up what looks like this, almost like a scorpion with a long body and too many legs, this long pointed tail, and this darkened, twisted face that almost looks like a Cheshire cat with pointed ears. And he says,
You found it?
"Well, I found where it intended to be. I wanted to let you all know that this and who it spawned from still very much exist. And I have decided to let Charlie continue to exist with the fragment of divinity in its possession. There must be a balance to everything, and Charlie is the balance of mine, I suppose. So he will rule the underworld and the shadows and such, while I bring light where I go. Thought it was important you all knew that.
Every god needs a devil, I suppose.
Yes.
Chaos to order. Such is the world. Or it will be.
And you see he turns and says, well, if any of you need me, simply call for me. I must make more planes. And you see Artreus just sort of drifts upward and slowly begin seeing small twinkles made off in the distance as planes of existence are brought into being by Artreus. And you five are left to do the things that you are setting out to do. So how are you all going to go about doing this? What's the plan?
Well,
Soup and let it happen?
Genevieve is going
tweaks
to
here and there.
Genevieve is going to go and sit in the director's chair and start arranging the timeline. If I could get perhaps someone to write the script, someone who's generally knowledgeable in these things. I know a little bit of history.
I'll give it a gander. I mean, with a little twitch here and there, and you know.
So as you all step down in Genevieve's realm of existence, immediately as you touch with the ground, all of the color is drained out of each of you. And this realm is black and white at the moment. And you see these faceless creatures sort of come up and say, Director, good to see you on set. We have a couple of stars that are prepared to get things started, and as soon as we're ready to move, just let us know and we will begin the production.
Absolutely. Do we have first looks at the scripts yet?
First look at the script. It looks like it hasn't come in yet. I believe that a Miss Noctua was assigned to that, so I can tap in with her and see how far along we are.
Definitely, that would be lovely.
All right. And your storyboard is all ready whenever you want to look at the time.
Absolutely. I'll have a look at it.
Have a look at the storyboard too. Might help with the writing.
Yeah. First looks at the beginning of our creation, I suppose. Do we film from the end or do we film from the beginning?
You all watch as Genevieve is giving these orders to the people around her. Genevieve just looks lost in what she's doing and preparing the scene. Minerva, you're going to be writing, correct? So
Yeah.
I will say that you are all slowly faded from Genevieve's realm, and you recoalesce on the steps of the Minervan Institute for Research and Development. And inside of it, you see you have 13. So you have an actual person with a face. You see behind the library, someone looks up and says, "Oh, Dr. Minerva, sorry, I didn't know that you'd be coming here so soon. Your writing room is all set up. We also have a couple of more pages for your book, which I believe would be helpful, I'm assuming."
Oh yes, that would be amazing. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Fantastic. Your advisor already, she stopped in and said that she was going to just collect whatever books she needs that she thinks will be pertinent to helping you denote new history.
Isis?
Yes, I believe that was her name.
Okay. Is this a face that I recognize? Is this like a face
It is. It's like your kindergarten teacher. It is someone from your life who wholeheartedly believed in your potential and believed that you could be the most that you could be.
Glancing around, who else is in here?
It's fairly sparse, but you see what looks to be a version of your mother. You see what looks to be it's odd, the collection of people who are here. It's a lot of people who you may not have thought of them like this, but they're apparently people who wholeheartedly believed that you would do the things that you were capable of doing. And you see that Charlie is there at one of the computers. And he sort of like looks up and like waves. And Isis steps out. She's wearing much more modern clothes. And she says, Madam Noctua, or I think...
Just call me Minerva.
All right. Minerva, I put together a little course from various books and pieces of knowledge that I could piece together that can give you a more concrete understanding of divinity and how the prayer system, or at least the one that used to exist, worked. If you choose to change the system of true belief, then your will is to be done. But sort of a presentation on divinity, if that makes sense.
That'd be great. I mean, the rest of us could all benefit from a slideshow on divinity, right? I don't know. You want?
Yes.
Who wants to go to a lecture? It's like being back in school.
Unfortunately, the materials can only be seen by you as this is your realm. But if you wish to share what you've learned with your fellow beings of divinity, then obviously you are free to do as you wish.
Sure. I mean, I guess I'm a doctor now. Wild. Okay. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna remake the wheel here, but just it's good to review the materials to make sure there's no hiccups or anything unexpected, and
Right, of course, Professor.
I think the idea, maybe we'll employ some of the things we talked about.
And as Minerva continues this sort of monologue and dialogue she's having back and forth with Isis, the three remaining members of the coterie, you feel that shifting presence again, and you are now in the midst of your realm, which currently has the face of a bookshop, and you see Mercedes turns and looks at you and smiles, and you see that she is currently serving a coffee to Mal, who sort of picks up the coffee cup and smiles at you as well.
Hey.
Hi.
Are you or some god shit?
She sets the cup down, stands up and walks over to you and picks up your hands and says, Fee, you are an irredeemable asshole, and it is frankly a little frightening that you have been given the powers of divine creation.
I mean, I didn't want them.
And she just smiles at you. It's me.
Well, welcome back, I suppose.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm at a bit of a loss for words.
First time for everything. Welcome in, Raiders.
I am gonna be honest, I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to be doing here.
And you see... Go ahead.
I'm not...
You see Mercedes looks around and goes, I mean, I think you can finally do whatever you want, Fee.
I just want to live my life.
And as you say that, you watch the bookstore shift and mutate and change into the floor of your nightclub. And you feel that glimmering spark. It doesn't disappear, but it dulls. And there's the color that rushes to your cheeks. And you feel your heart begin to beat again.
Ooh, I'm still not used to that.
And Mercedes walks up to you and nods and says, "Then we'll keep living."
We don't have to go back right away. I want to come back here eventually. But for now, I have friends that I need to help. I think I need to. I'm not management material, as he might say. I think I'll turn to Ray and Victoria. I think I'm best when I'm down on the ground with everyone else, with the regular people. Sort of show them what to do. Not that I should be anyone's example, but I think technically I have the most experience in the universe at this point, so why not?
Again, as she said, you can finally do whatever you want.
Are you asking us for permission?
We can make stickers to give you if that's what you want.
Haha. No, I just want you to know.
Ugh, just go be happy. I'm not hugging you. Go do what you want.
I would never ask that of you. That is my final gift to you.
That is the
Ray,
nicest
please
thing
hug.
you've ever said to me.
Ray, please hug me though.
And when Ray goes in for the hug, they'll whisper just, "You'll never be just a normal person, Fee. You are one of the best."
Well, that's utterly ridiculous, but I appreciate the thought.
Hey, apparently I'm a god now, so I mean, I can just make it so. Can't argue with that.
I can't. I'll see you again someday.
And with that, the pair of you begin to phase out and disappear from Fee's realm. And then you appear at the entrance and interior of a giant, sprawling castle that overlooks a large amount of land that's sort of dotted with people inside who are meant to assist in the day-to-day existence. And as you step in, you see Edwin sort of standing there in a clean suit. And he looks at you and he goes, "Well, it took you long enough."
That is really your first sentence to me. I thought you loved me.
Well, it went better than I thought because I was wondering if it would be my last. And he walks over and embraces you. And he kisses you on the forehead and says, "We have a lot of work to do."
That we do. Godhood is busy.
You seem too excited for this.
I am a literal god. I have all the power I could possibly want. For once, I can honestly say I'm truly happy. And
Hmm.
you being here is a part of that. Lady, is there something you want? You're still standing right there.
You see Edwin turns to you, and you see a bright smile on Edwin's face, which is new.
You can smile.
Not many things are worthy of the occasion.
I guess I'll just have to rewrite the universe more often.
Please don't. It hurts. And you see Edwin sort of turns as this young woman, younger than you, but looks oddly familiar and similar to you. She approaches and she goes, "Well, uh, guess we made it to the big leagues then. Apparently."
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's. I'd say it runs in the family, but I don't think you'll.
All right, here we go. Here we go. And
You were doing so well. I was very proud of you for your taking over that made yourself
hey,
insert company name here.
in the world of normal people, that was actually a pretty smooth move. I will have you know, Countess.
You know what? For the purposes of this, can Victoria actually literally make a sticker and stick it on her forehead?
100%.
Good job. I'm so proud of you.
Right. Big sister becomes a god. Now all of a sudden she's high and mighty. And you see she pulls out a draft of paper that says first draft of the universe. And it is signed by Minerva Noctua. And with that, Edwin sort of looks to you and says, "Well, I suppose we should get to it then."
Oh, yes, I'm going to revise a lot of this, but it's a good start. For sure.
He nods. And with that, Ray, you feel yourself shift one last time to the small inside of a bakery. And it is immediately hot back here. And you already have an apron on. And your mom scoots past and says, "Move your butt," and just like goes behind you with a what looks to be like a tray of dough that she sticks in the oven.
Before turning around to look at my mother, I would like to pull out my fangs.
Okay. You reach your hand up, and as it touches the tooth, it just smooths out to match the rest of your teeth.
And kind of rub my eyes. Drop the red glow that has been in my eyes. Yeah, we do have a lot of work to do. I think all of this baking needs a lot of love put into it.
And you see your other mother step forward with a tray that is finished. Says, "Well, of course, we got to make sure that these people look exactly how they're supposed to, with everything they're supposed to have in them." And you see that some of the cookies are cooked to be a little bit darker than some of the other ones. Some of them are taller or shorter, and some of them have a varying number of appendages and various things like that. And you are handed an icing piping bag and goes, "Whenever you're ready."
Yeah. Hold on. There's There's just one more thing that I want to add. And I'm going to go into the cupboard and kind of rifle through a bunch of like spices and herbs and things and pull out a very small vial full of this like pearlescent glowing kind of liquid, and I'm going to just kind of open it, and there's a little pipette, and drop a little bit on each.
Okay.
And I'll say a little bit of extra empathy never hurt anyone.
I think that's a good thing to add to the recipe. And with that, Ray, unless you have something else you'd like to say. Okay. With that, the camera pulls back from this humble bakery, and it zooms in on the three-tiered world on an axis. There is life beginning to grow and teem within these woods, and time passes in an odd, fluid motion for you all, as it passes much quicker for you all than it does on the planets that do exist. You all are able to keep in contact with each other and visit each other's realms when you need to, but you're always at your most powerful within your realm. And a few 100 million years later, there is this small wooden cottage with a thatch roof that is sort of ramshackly put together. And there is a small black boy with this curly frock of spongy-like hair that's running around, and his mother calls him and says, "Oi, time to come in." And the kid shuffles back, tired. He drinks some water. She sits down and says, you see his dad sort of kneels down to him and says, "Artreus, do you know what that name means?" And you see the kid sort of like, "No." And his dad responds, "Artreus is the person who made the sun, willed it into existence. He's the first of all the gods. You remember how we started learning about the gods, didn't you?" "Yeah." And he sort of nods and smiles and says, "Dinner's going to be ready soon. You should go get ready." And Artreus goes up the stairs and looks out the window on a setting sun and says, "Hello, moon. I always like you the best." And then rushes into the bathroom to wash his hands. And you all watch from your various points in time and reality and existence as humans create their first fire and then their first bit of mechanical technology, and on and on and on. And cursed with the free will that you have gifted these creatures, they make mistakes that you recognize and ones that you wouldn't have made yourself. And true to what you came from, this is certainly life being led. And in this new world of existence, you also grow to understand the infection and the darkness that creeps its way into everything that you create. The id, Charlie, whatever you want to call it. Always seeking to keep everything at bay. And in this new reality crafted by 5 souls whose destiny intertwined in a small theater in Michigan, the new denizens of the new world spend their time and energy worshiping Minerva the Studious, Ray the United, Genevieve the Benevolent, Victoria the Determined, Fiorentino the Splendid, and Artreus the First. And as that sun sets, a moon rises, and you are all left to reminisce on when times were not simpler, not more difficult, but different. And that is where we are going to close Under the Pale Cold Sun. Thank you all so much for joining us on this 3-season-long journey. And yeah, fun fact, we just made my fantasy setting live on stream, so that's cool. Yeah, we still have plenty of time left before we would normally be done. So I think we're gonna go around the table and let's talk about your favorite moments from the campaign. Who stood out? What's one moment that really stuck with you? And I am going to put Rowan on the spot because Rowan's gonna go first, so you have the least time to think about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's okay. I had a feeling you might ask a question like this, so I've been thinking about it all day. Thank you for joining us tonight and for the past couple months. Lovely people. I've been Rowan, and also sometimes Fiorentino de Calza. Some of my favorite moments. The very first time that Minerva was not Minerva was something else. I think that was one of the first moments when we sort of realized that really big shit was happening, or at least me, anyways. Or I always go back to the first time we exploded.
Episode 1.
Because that was when I realized that I had no idea what the fuck was going to happen in this game. And all my copious note taking would not change that. Did not stop me from doing it though. Yeah, and well, my sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm just compulsively apologizing. And a personal moment was when Mal told Fee to get a life. That really sent them down this path that ended very differently than I was planning on taking them. But here we fucking are, because that's how these games work. It's how tabletop games work. Is nothing survives first contact with the dice, with the PCs, with any of it. Yeah. I yes. Mal was like, get a life, and Fee was like, okay, bet I'm mortal now. That is correct.
Exactly that. And Alicia, what were your favorite moments of the campaign?
So let's see. Some of my favorite moments. There's a lot to choose from. I actually did kind of like because Darby, our resident expert note taker and deep diver of things, when Darby got the vindication of just like, oh, also known as Tutu, just like I called it. That vindication was pretty good. I thought that was awesome. I'm trying to think. In character would be one of my favorite things. Charlotte getting blown up as opposed to us because we got blown up a lot. That was a good one. I guess Charlotte, or no, I guess it was Nick who got blown up and Charlotte was already dead.
No, Charlotte was on the boat.
Charlotte was on the boat too. Okay, making sure. So that was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Great. Bo, how about you? Favorite moments from the campaign?
I wasn't crying, you're crying. Okay. I'll try to do this without crying. Out of character. After we finished our first game ever, I left that game going, holy crap, this is going to be incredible. And y'all didn't let me down. This has been one of the most incredible games I've ever been a part of. Otherwise, I wouldn't be crying because I don't cry very often. There's a bunch of little things. Getting to play off of Minerva in two different ways was always a lot of fun. It was weird. It was like we got our little pairing, and like even like not even like, you know, Baby Ray and Minerva, you know, in their little ship, but like Professor Ray and Minerva just being total dorks together was always so much fun because we were both just, I don't fucking know what's going on. There was a particular scene with Fee where we actually, like when it was with Fee and Mal, where it was like, oh fuck, Fee's got like shit going on. I was not prepared for this. Me with my little backstory. That, you know.
What's backstory?
I don't think I wrote like answers to questions D sent, never anything.
I mean, technically your backstories are your myths and legends now.
Oh fuck.
Fine. Okay. I'm sure there are more. I meant to go back and reread. There was always something every time, and yeah, every game was just so special. There was never a game that I left and I was like, oh, that could have gone better. You know, like it was just every single time I was like, God, that was so good. So hopefully everyone else liked it as much as I did.
I don't know. Let's find out. Darby, favorite moments.
That is a super hard question.
Yeah, and you got to answer it too.
Fuck! This is the first game I've ever played that has completion. Like, I've always like started like in D&D campaigns that like never like finish, or I still have ones that are ongoing. So this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Triplet you're picking, or are you getting 4 plushies?
No.
Pick.
Or 5,
just-
because I'm going to send one too.
Pick.
He's in the middle.
Pick Triplet.
Give her a second. Relax.
No, she
I
has several.
switched now. Just all this world building. There's all these like little moments where like we look back at my now 192 pages of notes. God damn it, 8 pages short.
It can't be done now. So,
So
you
close.
got to get like an epilogue in there. or
Oh,
something.
okay. Gotta do like a one-shot wrap-up thing for those 8 notes.
Yeah, but I guess there's also all the physical notes I took and stuff I missed. But just all these little nuggets and hooks and stuff. There's just the world felt very alive and rich, and there was like a lot that's like, it's not just like what's happening in front of us. It's like, oh fuck yeah, the priest exists. That fucker is like going around doing whatever. Who the fuck blew up our car? Who knows? We still don't know.
I mean, they don't exist anymore.
They don't exist anymore, so like that's not really a problem. But the just the scenes of us walking through all of these spaces. This is the second to last episode. It was a lot. It was very emotional and also like cathartic, and it felt like if you could feel like the end is coming one way or another, and this is a really nice end to this story.
And then we also have the favorite moments of Anita.
Blah. Yeah. So, my favorite moments. This is actually the 4th campaign that I finished.
Ooh.
And I realized that all of them have had you in them, D.
I always finish.
I think.
A. Zing. Mallard Man, your favorite moments of the Banes. No. Can we just get a timeout for Mallard Man?
Can we get just like a...
I was gonna say another one of my favorite moments was Darby's face in the green room before every session when I baned.
Oh yeah, because of the veins.
Listen. Also, I didn't do that, Mawad. Stop making your stop squinting your face at me.
I was the one that did it. It was me.
Yeah, it was Genevieve. It was Anita.
My favorite moment was just now when I banned Mallerman from chat.
There you go.
No,
Perfect.
actually, my favorite
Fantastic.
moments are, there's a lot of like really good character moments we had. I liked how Victoria and Genevieve became weird friends, with Victoria being Genevieve's driver.
Yeah.
Or the little romance that we had with Ray and Minerva. The wholesome relationship that Genevieve had with Artreus. The part that lives in my mind rent-free is the fact that all of the life in existence and the life of creation was created by 2 gay moms and their child, who just added a little bit of extra empathy.
Also, we're putting ramps everywhere because stairs.
Accessibility. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We're making sure
Everyone's
this new reality.
gay.
Everybody is a little bit gay.
Mm-hmm. And whatever version of Nymeria appears in this world, she wakes up one day with a smiley face drawn onto her like Jigglypuff in Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It is a truth of
It
the
is a
universe.
truth of the universe.
So it will happen.
At some point or another.
I'm just saying.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so many wonderful things. And Dee, thank you so much for helping tell this story and facilitating this narrative and bringing us all along.
I was just the person who fucking
like.
hung out.
Can we get some hearts in chat for Dee, please?
Let's.
Can we get a "That's my streamer"?
Can we get a?
I
Can we get a?
will.
That's
I
my.
will streamer
Can we get that? That's my
That's
master of
my-
ceremonies in chat for that, please.
That's my master.
That's my
I mean, what?
MC.
That's my MC. Thank you very much. That's my master of ceremonies.
We haven't heard Dee's favorite moments.
Oh
we need to hear
man.
that.
I have one for all of you. I think overall, my favorite moment had to be the Ophelia plot twist of her being staked to the Detroit statue.
That's pretty good. I
That
almost
like
said
that was the
was
second
very good.
episode, and that like persisted as one of my favorite moments, as like the unraveling of I'm all right. Time to stop looking at chat.
Flood it with
My
more,
favorite
more hearts.
my favorite fee moment was the conversation that was had with Mal. I thought that was just a even though it didn't go exactly how I think Fee wanted it to. I think that was that was a good scene. Um, my favorite moment with Victoria had to be Jackson returning to the United States. Just like that scene where y'all rushed into the mansion. That was some of my favorite Victoria stuff. My favorite Minerva stuff was Minerva interacting with Isis, because I didn't know. I was like, I don't know how much this is just going to be a thing where like she just tries to possess you or whatever. But Minerva turned it into a whole like, you did this thing for me, and maybe you can hang around, My favorite moment was with Bo, was the way Bo played off of the Prince Cameron. I just loved all of their interactions. They were so much fun. And then in a similar vein, just anytime we had a second to be Genevieve and Ophelia, all those scenes are like, I really like that stuff. Yeah, so now we're gonna go around the table and do some proper outros
That's my
that
MC.
you all so that you all know where you can find these lovely people. Starting again on my right with Rowan. Where can we find you?
Yeah. You can find me on the internets as at RedWhiteRP. I am a writer, streamer, editor, sensitivity reader, professional dice cruncher, professional GM. You can hire me to do any of those things. There's various links in my Twitter, pinned tweet, and bio to do so. I'm also a poetry editor for the Global Youth Review, which is an online literary magazine. We just published our second issue. That is where all of the poems I read tonight came from. And I absolutely recommend going to check it out. There's poetry, prose, some really cool art. And it's awesome, and you should support small things like that. They're great. Also, check out the Fey Realm, which is the TTRPG channel that I help run. Next Tuesday, we're coming back for the last 2 episodes of this season of Institutionalized, our Monster of the Week Ex Criminal Minds game. This upcoming episode, we're going to have special guests, Diana and Avalon of Femsplained podcast. I'm not freaking out at all. And then this Sunday, you can catch me on Clockwork Vines at 7 p.m. on Honey and Dice's channel. It's a botanical steampunk Call of Cthulhu game in our second season. It's a lot of fun. Before that, on Saturday evening, I'll be in part 2 of a 3-part special on TBK Roleplay, Resident Evil Catalyst. We're playing The Company, which is a corporate horror survival tabletop role-playing game. It's very wild and very good, and I'm definitely not going to die this time around. Also, starting this Sunday, you can see episode 1 of The Gehenna Principle over on Nerds with Dice, which is a Vampire the Masquerade campaign that I'm GMing. We're going to play some 10th generation Kindred, hanging out in, where are we? San Francisco. It's gonna be interesting. I'm very excited. We have a very good cast. I'm not nervous at all. That's all my things, because I've officially crossed Under the Pale Cold Sun off my list of shows to talk about.
Okay. And next up, we have Petty Energy.
Hey, that is me. In fact, that's my Twitch channel, where you can find me Sunday evenings on my channel. I play with my friends when my internet provider decides to cooperate. We played Monster Camp the past 2 times, so I think we're going to stick with that for a while. Obviously, I was here Wednesdays. Now you might be able to find me somewhere else. Details to follow later. And if you want to know when that will be the case, you should follow me on Twitter at NNG98. Keep up with me there. So the Sunday streams, perhaps something on Wednesdays. Follow me and find out. Then also, I am a co-host for the Tortolial podcast, a podcast where we go through each of the Tortol series, book series, chapter, and we do it chapter by chapter. So right now we're starting with Alonda, the first adventure, and we're going to go all the way through. If there's any other things I'm forgetting, again, just feel free to follow me on social media.
Hey. Also, she's very pretty. She forgot that part.
Can confirm.
Very cute, yeah. Next up, we have the ever lovely Bo. Where can we find you?
You can find me, first of all, on Twitter. That's probably the best place, just because I usually post about the things that I'm doing before I do them. So if there's anything I forget, you can definitely see it there, which is at Dorky Teacher. Other than that, you can find me on my own Twitch channel tomorrow night, which is just Dorky Teacher, where I will be playing Alpha Protocol, starting that one. And then in the latter half of that stream session, I will also be playing some indie queer games from the itch.io queer games bundle for 2021. So we're going to be playing through a few more of those. On Friday, you can find me on Penny for a Tale for Friday Frights, if their tech agrees, and not just on their YouTube. On Saturdays, every other Saturday, you can find me on Polished Cryptids channel for some D&D 5e, though we will be switching to a new system soon, which is, if I remember correctly, it's called Big Strong Hands, or Good Strong Hands, something like that.
Yeah.
I have something coming up on Sundays, but I don't know if I can talk about it yet, so keep an eye on my Twitter. And next Tuesday, you can find me on Lucas G Variety for Alien RPG. And I think that's everything, because as everyone has been saying, there's nothing on Wednesday anymore.
Okay. Then let's pass the buck on over to our local Chaos Gremlin, or one of them at least.
Yeah, hello. It's me, Darbio. You can find me on Twitter as @DarbyPack. That's my real human name. Really, I'm just a possum in a skin suit. I usually say when I'm not here, but I'm not gonna be here.
You're still gonna be on the channel, though.
Just not here on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I'm usually like when you don't find me here on Vampires the
I'm
Masquerade.
still stuck at Darbio. I'm not past
I
that.
realized that Darby took off the Snapcam filter that had the glasses, and I had to take like a triple take just now.
Oh, it's wild. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
Also,
what do you
it-
mean Darby doesn't have glasses?
It makes my face so much pinker. Like, like I look super
Yeah.
pink. So it was just the lens, Milan. Anyways, you can find me on here on the Critical Business channel Mondays for Kingsguard, a D&D 5th edition game that is a spotlight game by Roll20. Fridays for System Crash. You can also now find me on the Weave the Tales Twitch channel for Tuesdays for their Asunder, a game that's really cool. I play Rin, a character with legs. She is air-based, she dances, she has a weapon. Is she like Arabella? No, not at all, I would say. When I'm not on the critical, no, I'm also on Twitch on the Chaotic Pod Twitch channel, where we have Hidden Magics, another D&D 5th edition game that's currently on hiatus, but I think we're running a rerun this week. And we play a variety of different video games. We're changing up our schedule because I got a job, so that changes things a little bit. So that's cool. And when I'm not on Twitch, you can find me on a podcast, Chaotic Creations, a podcast where we take weird prompts to make weird TTRPG characters. One of our characters that we made with D appeared in the show, Joe Ashton, who no longer exists. So
one of our believers.
Oh yeah, unless they're one of our believers. But yeah. So yeah, that's a me. Ba-ding. Oh, also hashtag that's my MC. There we go.
That's my MC.
Your faces.
That's my MC.
Last but never least, we have the fearless leader of the channel.
Who put me in charge? All right, I did.
You.
Hi, I'm Anita, or Panita, or Critical Misses. You can find me here Mondays for Kingsguard, our Roll20 Spotlight show. You can find me here Wednesdays in the future when we get casting up and running for our new show that is still, I don't have a name for it yet. I'm hoping it'll come to me as I do the writing and the world building. It's going to be another horror game because we're going to stick with horror on Wednesdays, I guess. So we're going to be doing a rural, small town horror, teenage supernatural horror game that is based heavily on the folklore and legends of my hometown area. That's where you can find me on Wednesdays coming up in the future. Maybe you'll see some familiar faces. Maybe you'll see some people that you know. And then on Fridays, you can catch me here for System Crash when we get that back up and running. Because we've been kind of slacking the last little bit. It's fine. Life happens. We're generally exhausted all the time. But yeah. And then Saturdays, you can find me here for, Morning Ritual.
Morning Ritual.
Yeah, I'm fried right now.
Yeah.
I'm fried.
Very pretty.
Thanks. I appreciate that. But you can find me here on Saturdays for Morning Ritual, which is our TTRPG talk show. Our guest this week coming is going to be Josh Simons. And next week, we actually can officially announce, because we just locked them down, we've got Austin, Sailor Scout Austin, and Banana Chan Games coming in for Morning Ritual the week after. So that's very exciting. Yeah. We're excited to talk to some real winners in the TTRPG space. We love them very much. And you might be able to find me in other places and other things very soon. I'd have to figure some stuff out with my Discord and message someone specific if that Discord lets me. But yeah, I can't announce that just yet, but stay tuned to my socials.
But you know what you can announce is what Critical Misses is doing as our June initiative.
Yes! We're teaming up with our friends at Chromatic Chimera to raise money for the Transgender Law Center. All bits and subs from this month are going to be donated, along with anything that comes through our Tiltify link. The Boons and Banes for donations was actually very successful this stream, and I think we're going to carry it over for a couple of our other shows. If folks want to start donating money to that, then we can start using that as incentives for some more chaos in our streams. But yeah, that is me. That is the things that I do. And I'm going to turn it over to That's My Master of Ceremonies. That's my MC. The one...
Hashtag, can we get a That's My MC in chat?
Can we get some That's My MCs in chat? Some It's the Riddler hearts,
MC.
please?
So on Mondays, you can find me over on Kingsguard, playing a Zuko in that fun time game. Usually on Tuesdays, you can catch me over on my streaming channel, where I will be streaming some single player something on Tuesday. Thursdays, kind of the same case. Usually I sleep on Thursdays though, so maybe not so much. You can follow me on Twitter to keep up with what my erratic stream schedule will definitely be. Um, on Fridays, you can catch me over on the Fey Realm for Tales from the Amazing Ages. We're in our closing episodes of that wonderful 6-part mini series. It's great. They're gonna have to fight Superman next episode, so that's gonna go well. On Saturdays, you can find me on my channel for the greatest team in all of esports,
Don't
the
check the
Dog
VODs.
Club. Don't. There's no. Well, why? Why would you? Because I already told you that we always win. Never lose. We've never lost before. It's never happened. And Sundays, you can catch me over on Chaotic Pods for Hidden Magic, where I play a character named Odias. The various banes and boons that were donated during this night are what helped our players through combat mostly, as those were the only roles that I felt chance were appropriate during. With the exception of Mercedes. I used one of the boons for Mercedes to keep her from completely losing herself when being in the presence of 5 new gods as reality was being rewritten.
Fair.
I really appreciate that.
And hi. I'm D. I'm gonna try and do this part without crying.
No cry.
But Artreus' story stems from myself growing up. I had a really bad habit where I would keep my friend groups separated because I was so different in how I behaved in friend group to friend group. The nerd, the rapper, the magician, etc., etc. And after I got some better friends, I realized that I am at my best when I am myself all at one time. So be proud of who you are and what makes you that way. Yeah, and be kind to each other and be good people. We are going to go on a raid to our friend Raven, which will be a lovely time, I'm sure. And if you take anything from this whole story, just know that you're always at your best when you're just yourself. And there's nothing you can be that's better than that. All of my lovely friends that I have made throughout this journey, I bid you adieu. Thank you for joining us one last time in our own little world of darkness. And we will see you all the next time the pale cold sun rises. Bye, everybody.